Children Moving, Chapter 31, Teaching Games. The purpose of educational games is for the youngsters to become versatile, adaptable, and skillful games players in meaningful game situations. The content of games is largely based on the manipulative skills themes. These experiences allow children to apply their skills in a variety of developmentally appropriate game-playing situations. Skill themes are applied to the context of the games in 3 different experiences: invariant game skill experiences, dynamic game-like experiences, and game-playing experiences. Key concept. In the invariant game skill experiences, the focus is on practicing isolated skills in an unchanging situation, and the game takes the form of self-testing, challenging activities. The dynamic game-like experiences include using skills in a changing open environment, combining skills, and developing tactics. Key concept. Experiences can be pre-designed or child-designed and involves playing games that conform to all that is known about appropriate practices in physical education. Pre-designed games playing experiences include ready-made games, modified ready-made games, and teacher-designed games. Key concept. Child-designed games playing experiences include teacher-child designed games and games designed by children. The process of teaching games experiences includes both planning and teaching considerations to ensure that the game is a learning experience. What makes a good game? According to Hastie, there are 5 things that make a good game. 1. Contributes to skill development. 2. It's safe, includes and does not eliminate. That's 3. 4. High participation rates. And 5. All children are successful and being challenged. And that's Hastie from 2010. Games in the national standards and grade level outcomes. 1. Combines locomotor and manipulative skills in a variety of small-sided practice task games environment. Combines jumping and landing patterns with locomotor and manipulative skills in dance, gymnastics, and small-sided practice tasks in game environments. Performs curling, twisting, and stretching actions with correct application in dance, gymnastics, small-sided practice tasks, and game environments. Games in the national standards and grade level outcomes. Standard 2 combines spatial concepts with locomotor and non-locomotor movements for small groups in gymnastics, dance, and games environments. 2. Recognizes the types of kicks needed for different games and sports situations. Recognizes the type of throw, volley, or striking action needed for different games and sports situations. Games and national standards and grade level outcomes. Standard 5. Identifies physical activities that provide self-expression, for example, dance, gymnastic routines, practice tasks in games environments. The purpose of games in elementary school. The main focus of educational games is the development of skill and using it to play against an opponent. It is not to have youngsters' games participation confined to a few adult inventions with restricted, highly specialized skills. Just let them play. The purpose of games in elementary school is to have children become versatile, adaptable, and skillful players in meaningful game situations. So what's wrong with playing the game? Here's 4 things. Time in the activity is minimal. If people get out, you're not being active. The game is not appropriate for all children in the class. If some kids don't have the skills to be able to participate in the game, it's not a good game for the class in terms of physical, psychological, or skill readiness. Okay, you got to have all those things or else some kids aren't having fun, and that's our goal. The equipment is not appropriate for all children. If the equipment's too big, it doesn't fit the kid, they're not going to have a good time. So you have to make sure you have the right size equipment. And the last one, children are eliminated from play. Got to keep them moving, okay? But wait. So what's wrong with playing the wrong game? I just gave you 4 reasons, and now I hear 4 more. Winners and losers rate one child or group of children better than the others. Not good. When teams are chosen, some children are publicly humiliated. Not good. The game is often played to play a game. You got to have purpose. It is not, and that's where the last one comes in. It is not linked to skill development. If you're not learning something, then we should not be participating in it. Context of games. The manipulative skill themes and movement concepts combined with locomotor skill themes of traveling, chasing, fleeing, and dodging are largely applied in the context of games. Everything culminates into a quality experience for children. Content of games. Game experiences can be classified into 3 types. Invariant skill development, 2, dynamic game-like skill development, and games playing. 3 types of game experiences. 1. Invariant game skill experiences. Focus on self-testing or challenge activities. Dynamic game-like skill experiences, using skills in a changing open environment, combining skills and developing tactics and strategies. Games playing experiences, playing games that conform to all that is known about appropriate practices. Invariant game skill development involves practice of the isolated skills used in games in relatively close or unchanging situations. Dynamic game-like experiences look and feel like games to children, but they are designed to teach the use of basic skills in changing environments. Combination of skills and simple offensive and defensive strategies. Almost always small-sided with restricted rules and limited space. They have clear learning goals and are permeated by stops and starts to refine skill and provide cues. In the beginning, they are most often cooperative. They develop into competitive games when children no longer find cooperative experiences challenging. Dynamic, game-like skill development phase. Skills in a changing environment. Situations that are progressively and increasingly complex and in which skills are used in combination as they occur in games playing situations. Combination of skills. Experiences that relate to a variety of types of games and skill combinations. Tactics. Offense and defensive tactics that allow players to use the skills they have learned to outwit others. Game playing experiences. Allow children to focus on gaining knowledge and enthusiasm for playing while using the skills and tactics previously learned. The enjoyment and satisfaction derived from playing games frequently are products of playing a game without interruption. Pre-designed game playing experiences, ready-made games. Described in textbooks. A great place to start. Look at what your physical environment and skill level of the students, etc. are before deciding on these. And you can modified ready-made games, changing pre-designed forms, modify team size, field size, implement the ball, and even funnier, with a rubber chicken. Everything is funner with a rubber chicken. Teacher-designed games. Teacher-designed games to satisfy a specific goal. Make sure you explain this as a specific goal activity. Okay, you have a specific task, and that's what you want them to work on. Make sure you explain that. Game aspects that can be modified. When using a pre-designed game, there are many aspects that can be modified. Teach the steps in personal or general space first. Then add partners or formations when students demonstrate competency. Use clear cues and demonstration of these steps. When you're modifying stuff, make sure they understand what you're trying to achieve. Aspects that can be modified. First, take into consideration the skill level that the student should attain before the game is played. When thinking about these decisions, you should take the following ideas on this and the following charts into consideration. Prior to contemplating these modifications, make the decision of the overall goal for playing the game. Let's look at modifying the players. When it says players, it is asking about the team makeup. Is it a homogeneous group? Students of each developmental level on each team? Or are they more competitive grouping of students? When it talks about numbers, will a smaller or larger group fit better in achieving your goal? Purpose. What is your goal? Practice, skills, or strategy? Player movement. Restrict their movement to teach, getting open, staying open, not allowing students to be within 10 feet of each other. What is your goal for the player movement? Let's move on to more good stuff. More game aspects that can be modified. Equipment. This is a big deal for me. How can we expect a child to throw a football if they can't hold the football in one hand? Modifying the size of the equipment can make the experience much more successful for students. Organization. If the game calls for a square or rectangle field, will a round field work? If you are teaching a skill, is 2 lines facing each other the best way to teach and develop the skills? Or is a random all over the field better? Space. How will the modification of the field change the dynamics of the game? If the field is big, will it affect engagement? If the field is small, will it enhance engagement? What do you think about the field? Thick or thin? What is your goal? Rules. Omit rules that restrict the flow. Add rules to enhance opportunities. It's your game. Modify it to achieve your goal. Game aspects that can be modified. Skills. Reduce the number of skills involved. Sometimes we just make things too complicated for our students. Let's use throwing or tossing as an example. Many of the students do not know, or most likely were never taught, how to catch. So instead of a student getting hit with a tossed or thrown implement, use a target for the student to throw to and have the partner retrieve the implement. You have to remember, most of our students will come to you without any skill development, no matter what grade level. I have 6th graders who can't kick or catch. I actually had a student in this class, Education 330, in college, who did not know how to catch, throw, or skip. Fortunately, it was a face-to-face class, and we developed those skills for her. Teaching of child-designed rhythmical dance. A steady beat of 4/4 is best. Using a simple prompt to elicit movement to the beat. For example, move your foot only, your head, stretch, march, walk, move. Use those teaching cues and it helps the kids follow along. At the utilization and proficiency level, students can choreograph rhythmical movement sequences or routines. Child-designed games. Involve the children in the design of the game. Students always love to do this, and the process of the evolution is eye-opening for them and the teacher. Because you can throw in question form, what about this, what about that? And they go like, never thought about that. Gets them excited about stuff on a different level. Child-designed games. There are 3 types. Teacher-child designed games, games designed by the children, and games of competition and cooperation. Teaching game-playing experiences. Before you do anything, first you need a plan. Okay? These are the considerations for planning. This is what you think about before you start putting this thing together. Alignment of the game with the learning objectives, because you got to figure out what you want to end before you start putting it together. Is this going to be a learning experience or not? Okay, what type of equipment are you going to need for the game? The game's equipment. Name of the game. Sometimes that can either make or break the game. Group size. It's going to be a whole class, very small, two people on a team, 5 people on a team. What size of the group are you going to need for the game? And is this going to be a cooperative game or a competitive game? Are you going to keep score or not keep score? Very important considerations when planning a game. Consideration while teaching. Provide feedback. Okay, these are things you need to think about while the game is playing. Will you provide feedback or not? Or are you just going to let them play? Freeze frame, stopping the game to confirm positive and areas of improvement. Questioning, to help guide students to identify solutions to tactical problems. Role of the teacher, actively observing multiple games at once and providing feedback and or modifications as needed. Considerations while teaching. Will you provide feedback or not? Decision you're going to have to make. Freeze frame, stopping a game to confirm positive and areas of improvement. Questioning, to help guide students to identify solutions to tactical problems. The role of the teacher, actively observing multiple games at once and providing feedback and or modifications as needed. In pre-designed games, playing experiences must observe and determine if modifications are needed. Child-designed games, playing experiences, enhance and expand ideas for children rather than imposing personal ideas. Give them suggestions. Hey, what about this? What about that? And they may take those up for you. End of chapter 31, Teaching Games.